In a world, 4 friends, 1 mission, to bring freedom to everyone involved.
Dude, what the fuck are you doing?
I'm doing a thing for the podcast.
Just say the name.
Fine. It's the Freedom Friends Podcast.
Oh, shit. Hold on.
Oh, what happened?
He's fucking with his eye holes.
What happened?
Oh, hold on. I'm fucking with my eye hole.
I'm the eye hole man.
And now my headphones don't work. Great.
No, mine don't work.
Now they're back.
You're welcome.
Oh, thanks. I thought it was this. I'm like, that's fucking weird.
No, because that cable's connected to your mic. So I
I
don't know how that would have done
I
it.
was like, that shouldn't work.
What is this? Elon, is that you?
It's fucking sorcery.
All right, boys.
Okay.
I think we're live.
Man, the other day, I could only remember 25 letters of the alphabet.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Which one did you forget?
I don't know why.
Yahtzee. I appreciate that. That's a good dad joke. Fuck. I like that one. That's good. That's a good one. Boys, it's Thursday. I got a stick in my hand and a drink on the table. Johnny boy, fuck we about to do?
We're about to masturbate, boys.
You goddamn right. Welcome to a Freedom Friends Master Debate.
Hold on, I gotta adjust my shorts.
Same, dog.
I'm finished.
Same. I've jerked it twice since we started this. Fuck. We're us, the Freedom Friends, solve the world's problems one mediocre topic for this mediocre show at a time. For our not so mediocre listeners and viewers that we appreciate the fuck out of. Brought to you by warfightertobacco.com. Use that code Freedom Friends to screw yourself that sweet 15% off. And owellness.us for all your CBD needs. Use that code Freedom Friends 25. Score yourself a quarter off your order over there. Scotty boy, I understand you have a topic for us this week.
I got one that was phoned in.
Oh shit.
Dang.
All right, boys.
All right, boys.
So if you could add, we're going to do 2. If you can add 1 and remove 1, what regulation in the military would it be?
You could add a regulation and remove a regulation.
Yeah.
Do they have to be related?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm definitely removing the regulation against facial hair.
And why is this?
There's no application for it anymore. Like it's too easy to keep it trimmed and well done. And we're like the last military on the planet where you can't have like a beard.
Right. And because the argument before was about fucking
Your mask wouldn't seal.
Your mask wouldn't seal. But nowadays you get full face masks.
It's full face and it goes over your chin anyways, so it doesn't matter. It's still going to seal.
Well,
Like,
and you could caveat it, right? With if you're in a combat zone and there's an NBC threat, you might have to shave at that point.
Or
right?
at least trim.
Or at least trim.
I mean,
but if you're,
or you know what? If we can put a length regulation on hair,
But-
put a length regulation on the beard.
But okay, let's just go back in history for a minute. How many days in your military service career did you have to worry about an NBC threat versus how many days you had to fucking shave?
Well, that would be 6 years.
Right?
Well, no, hold on. I didn't shave my last 19 months. So 41 months I had to shave
Yeah.
every day.
Yep.
And in the 6 years I was in, 0 times was there a legitimate NBC threat.
I'm not as good at math as he is.
Right.
But I will say that out of the 15 years, 1 month, 1 week, and 1 day that I served in the United States Marine Corps,
That's pretty good math. Go ahead.
that's just because I know that because it's on it's
on your DD
14. But out of those days, right,
Yeah.
15 plus years, there was about 2 months
Yes.
where there was an NBC
Yeah.
threat.
And 30 days of those, it was a legit NBC threat.
Yeah, legit threat.
Yeah, see, like you're going to be a different animal. Well, all 3 of you are because you served earlier than I did.
Yeah, we were there.
When there was a legitimate NBC
we were there
threat.
in 2003.
Right.
Yeah.
It was a different animal.
Yeah.
In 2004, I guess maybe there was another month because in 2004 it didn't happen, but there was some talk about it.
Yeah, but are you telling me
happening.
right now that the goatee that Scott's rocking, that his mask wouldn't have sealed?
100% not. It would have been fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is sealed.
Yeah.
So I would the facial hair regulation.
I mean,
that would be my
don't-
delete.
Don't get me wrong. I think that there should it would
Now put a limit
like,
on it.
And neat in appearance is still a thing.
Right. Like,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
well, like the hair on your head can be up to 3 inches long,
yeah,
but it has to be off the collar, off the ears. Like,
zero to 3 for the Marine Corps. It's got to be 0.
oh, really?
Yeah, ours is 0 to 3.
Well, ours kind of, if 670-1 stated that it had to be off the collars, off the ears, and no longer than 3 inches in length anywhere on the haircut.
Yeah.
So, and it had to be neat and clean in appearance. You couldn't look like a fucking soup sandwich.
Yeah.
So I was in a different state in the military than you were because our governor of the state I was in the military said that it had to be much shorter than that. He added to the law.
Because you can add 2, but you
Right.
can't take away
Right,
from.
right.
Right.
Well,
So-
but that was guard
don't-
application, right?
No, it wasn't state. It was our unit. Like it was just
Oh.
yeah.
I don't know if this was a regulation or not, but I followed suit with the 0 to 3 that Mikey had, but it was a little bit different. It was 0 on the sides and 3-finger fuck off high and tight on the top.
So basically a
was it.
mohawk.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like every recon dude I've ever met was like, shave my neck and fade it.
Yeah.
It was like all it was. You could always tell, like, they'd wear their cover to like poof out the fucking back and shit, but it's in regs, you know, like you could always tell who the short timers were. Be like, that guy's done giving a fuck, man. Like that dude's been done for a while.
And then you get the guys that have like the perfect fucking flat top, and it's like, bro, like,
Yeah.
give it up.
So
Let it go, bro.
I have always had this receding hairline. So whenever I got my high and tight, it legit looked like I had a mohawk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can honestly say that after basic, I never rocked it high and tight. Basic, they shave your head. AIT, I did a 0 on the side and a 3 on the top, faded together. And then after that, once I actually got to unit,
Yep.
But it was-
medium high fade, dog.
but I was in the soft community. So like everybody had that, like the fucking, we all got our line razored in and everything like combed over to the side and we
It
all
was
had
funny.
length and
It was
like
funny because the justification for long hair in the soft community
is blending into
is-
the local
is
population.
blending in. But they stood out so much in the military that it was obvious who they were.
Yeah.
It was like a, you know,
Well, and that
Anyway.
was the same thing why like my last 19 months, I was allowed to relax grooming standards. I was allowed to grow beard
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff because I got reassigned onto that Op 4 team.
Yeah.
And the whole idea was
yeah.
you needed to not look like soldiers
Right.
so that when you were fighting soldiers, there was a better differentiation between the two units.
Yeah.
But all it was you knew exactly who we were because none of us wore uniforms.
Right.
And we all had relaxed grooming standards. So we were showing up in like fucking cargo pants and like this shirt.
Sure.
And
So do you have
You
an
essentially look like contractors.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we all looked like the Blackwater Special walking around. Like
Sure.
it was.
so
rocking
do
1022s.
you have an add to regulation?
I have a good add too.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that one. So you go ahead.
My add to is unit dependent majority vote on rules of engagement.
Oh, but
Wow, that.
I don't know.
Ooh. So I like where your head's at. I just don't know how
like where
you'd
your head's
actually
at.
police
I
that.
don't think you could fucking enforce that.
Well,
though,
I don't
dude.
think it fits national policy, if you will.
Because when he asked the question, my first thing was ROE. ROE was the first, or like
Yeah.
escalation of force was like the first thing that popped in my head because our hands are fucking tied out
Yeah.
there. You know, it's like, dude, they're shooting fucking mortars and rockets at us. Yeah, but they're not directly engaging. Fuck you, dude. Yes, they are. All right. Like, if I can fucking move a howitzer from this position to fucking direct fire, that's what they're fucking doing.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they're directly engaging us, right? Like, so I call horse shit on that. But I don't want the fucking sham shield mafia going,
To have a vote on ROE.
yeah, fucking, that's a bad move, dude.
Let's kill
hold on.
everybody.
Everybody time out.
Because there's
It's-
more fucking lower ranks than higher ranks that,
Yeah, it's
Unit de-
definitely a pyramid. Like,
it's unit dependent.
right.
So depending on the unit,
Well, that already kind of exists.
yeah,
but it's majority vote through the unit.
that's still that same pyramid,
It's
man.
the-
You still
yeah,
got a
it's
bunch
still-
of fucking E4s deciding what your ROE is.
Unless you're going to make it so like it takes 5 E3s to make 1 E7's vote.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
That could work.
you know what I mean? Because you would have to skew it like that.
But that'll never happen, John. It doesn't make sense to me because that is funneled down from like, okay, say the ROE is not like as cut and dry as it should be in Iraq.
Yeah.
But say it's
but it's already kind of unit
peacekeeping
dependent.
in Bosnia, right? You can't you can't vote to like, oh, let's just
Start
fucking
murking
light them up.
If they're all dead,
Like,
we'll have peace.
He has a point.
Yeah, but that's also like the entire. Well, I can't say that. Never mind. Hold on. We can have that discussion offline. I was about to say something that I probably shouldn't say on the air.
Redacted. So like, all right. So think about OAF.
Right.
What is widely considered the most effective battle that we had during Iraq? Fallujah, right?
Okay.
Phantom Fury is considered the strategic victory of Operation Iraqi Freedom.
I'll give you it's the most tactical victory.
And the reason being, do you know what our ROE was?
Any military age male.
Ages
Green
15 to 55, male or female. Smoke them.
But that's fine.
You know what I
But
mean?
That's fine.
That's a tactical victory, not a
But
strategic.
no, that's fine. But that ROE made sense because you gave the population weeks to get out of there.
Sure, absolutely.
When we first landed in Najaf, it was our first week there.
Yeah.
Right. Like so you can't let the votes say we're killing every military aged male.
I agree.
Right.
And that's why
and you
why
actually
it
do
worked
have to look
there.
at the large strategic impact on that.
Right,
Because when you
right.
look at large mission and we were running into problems, one of PSYOP's biggest missions was every time you schwacked one insurgent, you made two more.
Right.
And probably the two that you made didn't give a fuck about the insurgency and actually didn't have a problem with Americans in there to fix it
Because
until you killed their fucking cousin.
Yeah.
and now
you killed my uncle. Right. Like
and now, all three of his fucking nephews are like, well, fuck it, death to the Americans. Like,
That's the problem I have with having this long fucking drawn out war too. Because I remember watching a fucking kid throw a hot bag at a fucking kid, at like a 9-year-old kid, and laugh about it. And I was like, if we're still here in fucking 15 years, that kid's gonna fucking murder Marines.
the biggest,
he's gonna hate Marines.
I think we can all agree that the biggest problem
Well,
with,
I'm pretty sure
with
everybody
this
in another
war
country hates Marines.
Well, that's probably true.
is that this war isn't force on force.
Yeah.
And it's the biggest learning curve that the U.S. military has ever had to have because we still train. At basic training, we still train motherfuckers for force on force combat.
Yeah. Well, it's because it's still a doctrine that you have to be ready
You
for.
have to. You have to be.
And the
You
thing
know?
is, though, so then everything is on the fly training when you're there because everything is constant adaptation
Yeah.
because it's not a force on force combat. And then
Semper Gumby, motherfucker.
And so, but it makes it, I understand the whole unit specificity on ROE.
Sure.
That does kind of exist based on unit capability.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
But I understand
guarantee-
where you're coming from. I
guarantee-
just don't know how you actually.
Well, then every supply unit's going to get fucking smoked because they're all going to be like, no.
No, mister, no.
Well, I guarantee like fucking Delta, they have a way different ROE
the
than
chaplain
us. You know?
corps
Sure,
out,
but
the chaplain
Delta
corps out
is-
there going like,
But that's
They're on-
unit based.
They're
right?
on specific rules, though. They're on specific missions, like, you know.
Delta also mostly just does snatches.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
I
Delta,
knew there
Dev
was a
Group.
similarity.
Now, what I'm kind of pissed off about is
John's pretty much Delta.
those SOF units. They have
Are you kidding me? John's fucking Charlie.
those SOF units have assets that do not understand ROE at all.
100%.
The canines, they'll
Yeah.
just kill at will. Like,
Yeah.
well, I mean, you need to discipline those guys,
Yeah.
Article 15.
right?
Article 15's on the dog.
That's it.
Half rations, motherfucker.
Dude.
Take away their pay and demote them.
Good. I still want to kill somebody.
Fucking
You know, on yours though, what I would like to see is more individual unit selection of weapon loadout
yeah.
and getting away from standard issue.
That exists to some extent.
to some extent,
expensive, dude.
yes.
Just super expensive. You're
Yeah, but
looking
we
at.
spend money on other just
Yeah, but
dumb
the-
shit.
That's true.
The problem with that, right? If you gave a regular infantry unit the ability to say, "Hey, you can purchase your own weapons," it would be a bad idea because most of
They'd
those
buy
people
junk.
they buy junk.
Yeah.
They're not. They don't understand. You know.
See a whole lot of scars just running
Yeah,
around.
you'd see a lot of neck star scopes.
Case in point, though, in OF 1, OF 2, a lot of guys brought shit from home.
Yeah.
They had like
Yeah.
fucking scopes and stuff.
Can confirm.
It's like, well, I got this fucking mount that fits on
No,
my fucking charging handle.
I'm not saying like
Like-
I'm not saying here's a $1,500 impact card. Go build your own weapon. That's not what I'm
Right,
saying.
right.
What I'm saying is, if the 16-inch M4 that the 7 dudes before you isn't the right weapon for your job, like the unit should have the ability to change over
and they do to some extent.
to some extent. Like there's certain units that can
We ran
that
short
can-
barrel shit.
Yeah, and
I did.
we purchased suppressors while we were over there.
Yeah,
Like,
we-
are you as a unit?
We definitely did not.
I had an SBR.
I had a fucking A2.
You had a paddle.
I had a fucking dude. I had an A2, no, like a fucking full butt stock A2 for.
I had an
Fallujah.
M4. I had an M4
I was clearing
SPR.
houses in Fallujah with a fucking full on A2.
Do you know why we
'Cause
got
it was all we
SPRs?
had.
Do you know why PSYOP carried SPRs?
Why?
Because the majority of the time, the motherfucker was on your back.
Yeah.
Because when you went in to talk to people, you
Yeah.
were supposed to sling your weapon, deglove, take your glasses off, take your helmet off to like humanize you for conversations.
My favorite weapon I carried in Iraq was an M4 with the regular plastic cheap ass handguards, an ACOG, and a suppressor. We would walk around and be like, "Oh, that guy's really high, low speed." Like,
Very confused.
nobody knew.
The fucking junkyard
Yeah.
special they're just walking
Yeah.
around with.
Yeah. He's got a great optic and a suppressor, but no rail system. I don't understand.
So I know what I would take away.
It's like a Civic with a turbo. I don't understand what I'm looking at.
What would you take away?
I would revamp. So and I would take away and add to this. So you guys know that my last 3 years in the Marine Corps, I ran a 3-shot for a battalion, right? So I had to deal with a lot of fucking height and weight standard issues.
Ah.
And I think the military as a whole, the height and weight standards are fucking broken. The body fat percentage fucking taping method is a fucking
I
unnatural
failed every time.
all
Yeah,
the time.
me too.
And there was dudes who were fucking like 300 PFTers, ran 18-minute fucking PFTs, did 20
Yeah.
pull-ups, fucking with their eyes closed. Like
When I was getting out of the
like,
military,
it's
I
like,
had
bro.
a 300 PT score.
Yeah.
I had a 6-pack.
Yeah.
And I failed height and weight every fucking time.
Yeah, and I think that's a broken fucking
We had
regulation.
an E7 that straight up looked like Chef Rush
Yeah.
and was a fucking monster.
Dude.
And they would fail this dude on push-ups because literally his arms would not allow him to get to 90 degrees.
Yeah.
Like literally just the size of his biceps
Yeah.
would not let him get
Yeah.
and break 90.
That's a bullshit fucking rule.
And so they would fail him, and then they'd want to, and then he was never making weight because he was just a fucking slab of meat. So
Yeah.
as soon as you weighed him, it was like,
No, the only
Oh,
unit
you're
I was
overweight.
the only unit I was ever in where the fucking standards were relaxed on that is I was at Combat Assault Battalion. I was on deployment at Combat Assault Battalion in fucking Okinawa. And the sergeant major there was the Far East bodybuilding champion. And that's the only reason that fucking like my meatheads could be like, oh, good. Because sergeant major would be like, what'd he tape at? He'd be like, fuck that. That's bullshit. Look at this fucking monster. He's fine. You know, like, he could go in there and just
well,
fucking
and that's what
like,
we ended up with, like that,
Yeah.
like that E7 and stuff like that. It was just like,
Yeah.
are you really going to look at this dude and tell me that he's not combat ready?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
Now the Marine Corps
the dude
started
can
doing
bench press
this.
my Humvee.
They
Like,
s-
wait,
They started changing this regulation a little bit before I got out, and it was the MAP program, the Military Appearance Program, right? And with MAP, it was like, okay, yeah, he didn't make tape, but how's he look in uniform?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, you're in the right direction.
so this isn't MIC-MAP.
This isn't MIC-MAP.
That's
This is
where
just-
they teach the figure 4.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Let me show you.
The picture?
Page 32, figure 4, rear naked choke.
FIG period 4.
You know what? I asked somebody from the Mace if that's why. The Mace is the Martial Arts Center of Excellence in Quantico. and I actually asked the other day, and I was like, "Hey, is this real? Like, is this why it's called the figure 4?" And they were like, "Maybe."
Dude, because I'm gonna tell you right now, that's not just a Marine thing. It is like the most military thing I could possibly imagine. It's
Yeah.
just it's like, why does everybody on the planet call this a rear naked choke except for these guys call it the figure 4? And it's like,
Because they didn't put
Because
the
figure-
title of it. They
because
just put
in
the
the
picture
manual,
with
it said
FIG
figure
period
4.
4.
And maybe that's the case.
Dude.
And she couldn't tell me. Like she was like, "Fuck, maybe." Yeah, and she was there for fucking years, like as a
awesome.
martial arts instructor trainer. Like fucking. So I actually did try to follow up on that, and fucking get some answers.
I'm going with it. Like,
It makes
I think
sense,
we
man.
can spread it around enough that
It's a solid fucking theory, man.
So I would
what's your take and give?
I would take away, and it's not really a regulation per se. It's more of a procedure, but the mass punishment thing.
Yeah, I fucking hate that shit.
In
I think we all did.
In some instances, it made sense, right?
Now, are you talking across the board, or like, are you
Like one guy fucks
or are you
up, he
telling
smoked
that,
the whole
or are you
company.
taking that out of basic and AIT?
Outside of basic and AIT.
No,
So once you're in
because
unit,
you need it in basic. And,
wait.
but there's a reason behind it
So-
in basic and AIT.
Yeah.
Are you referring to the guy who held up a school bus with his service rifle from basic and they took away all weapons from that base?
Yes, that makes zero sense. But I have a
Which who didn't have fucking a magazine or ammo.
know.
right? But
I'm mad at that fucking bus driver for not mollywopping his ass.
But how in the fuck would they take away the weapons during basic training?
No,
Let's give him a rubber ducky.
there's actually a really good. You've got a really good point on this, and so, man, I wish he was here to tell the story because I'm not going to do this justice. So my brother's unit, when he was in, and they almost went like all the way to JAG with it.
Right.
There was like 4 soldiers on, because he was a guardsman. He was National Guard.
Right.
There was like 4 soldiers that on their 3-week their AT
AT, yeah. The camping trip.
drank, and they got popped.
Yeah.
So they came back and they found out about him or whatever. And I may be fucking up this timeline or whatever, but they decided to smoke the dog shit out of like everybody in the fucking company,
Right.
and way overdid it.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, guys were falling out. They had to put people on bags. Like, one dude ended up, and this is a guard unit. One dude actually ended up having to push and continue on like his welding class that he was taking on the outside that he was paying for because he was so fucked up from the smoking that he couldn't use his hands. So he couldn't go fucking pass his welding. Like,
Jesus.
I mean, it was bad. And it was off of like 4 dudes fucked up.
Yeah.
So everybody just got fucking destroyed. And it's like, so you're literally fucking with people's lives because these 4 jackwagons can't get their shit together.
Right. So I have a story to back this up. So I think we were on DRF1, which is like the deployable, you have to be ready status, right?
Yeah.
One guy got a DUI. I'm at home off base, right? At like midnight, and we get called back in.
A recall.
I was drunk,
Yeah, right. Well, you shouldn't have been.
but I didn't get caught.
Right.
I remember this. It sucked.
But we got called back in and we did like a fucking 12-mile road march at midnight and then started our workday the next day, right? Which is fine, but
That doesn't make for productive fucking individuals, though.
But the point is the point of that mass punishment so that we go fuck that guy up? Because if that's not the point, if the point is,
did you order the code red?
right,
No, you kind of did when you fucked with us.
right, you know, so like, are you telling me by fucking with me all night that we should go do our own corrective training on this guy? Because I don't know what else it's telling me to do.
It's not teaching me anything.
It's not teaching me anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
That's why I disagree with that. You know, but like obviously in basic training and stuff, that's the point,
But
right?
that is supposed to break you out of, you are
believe-
no longer a single person.
Right,
You are part of this
right.
unit. And so if one person fucks up, everybody pays.
Yeah.
That's
And
part of the breakdown process.
and
though.
that's getting
Yeah.
you out of the idea of an individualistic mindset.
Yeah,
sure.
So
Now,
totally
like,
get it for
if
that.
you want to mass punish that guy, his team leader, his squad leader, and up his chain of command, I kind of understand that, right? Because it's, you know, extreme ownership. It's everybody's responsibility that that guy fucked up. But when I'm in a company and this is in another platoon, you know, like,
Yeah.
what the fuck could I have done to
possibility that
prevent
you
this?
really don't
Yeah.
even know this
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
dude.
yeah,
Right.
like, he's got. I'm not responsible for this fool at fucking all.
Yeah,
You
like
know,
I don't
like-
even know him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was not out drinking with that gentleman, but I was out drinking that same evening.
How was that road march?
Oh, it fucking didn't matter. I was drunk.
You know what?
Yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah, I was drunk. One of our guys, O'Neill, was singing the whole fucking way because he was drunk too. Like we were just.
I think
whatever.
you've told that story actually.
yeah.
I think I did. Like that
You
was,
told a story about that.
that was when I sent the boot to fucking out to Rite Aid to buy us all Pedialyte. We're standing in formation at fucking 04 drinking Pedialyte, just fucked up. We're like, let's do this. Fuck it. And then I blacked out. And the next thing I know, I wake up and I'm walking back into the fucking, like back into the base, like into like in our area. And I'm like, what the fuck? I blacked out the whole ruck.
That was easy.
Yeah. And I was like, dude, I don't remember anything. They're like, bro, you were calling cadences and shit. And I was like, what? Like, I don't, they were like, yeah, dude, you motivated half the fucking rock, dude. I was like, what? Like, I had no idea. Shit. Yeah. I think the technology based in fucking like, you know, body fat percentage has come so fucking far. You telling me that a unit?
Dude, and there's ones that you can just stand on barefoot and it'll give you your fucking perfect BMI now.
Or like even fucking not a goddamn fucking dial caliper.
Yeah.
You know, and fucking it's better than the tape. It's still a step in the right direction. You know what I mean? Like fucking just get rid of the tape. The tape is bullshit.
My other
You
thing
know?
is let the score speak for itself.
Yeah.
If you go out there and you're 300, why are you stepping on a scale at all?
Yeah,
Right.
and that's true too. I mean, granted, I get the fucking whole military appearance thing. I totally
If you're
understand
getting
it.
a 300 your PT test,
Yeah, but
your
it's not like
fucking military
it's not like you're a
appearance is
fucking
there.
soup sandwich.
Yeah.
Like,
Sure.
Like you show me a dude
Like,
who
I
can
would-
run fucking a
the
13-minute 2 mile.
The only
50 pounds overweight.
I knew a dude who
only-
ran a fucking like a 19-minute 3-mile PFT. Like that's fucking moving, all right? And he was an older dude. When he was younger, he was fucking sub 18, right? And because 18-minute
That's
3 mile
6 minute miles.
That's 100%. That's 100
fucking
points.
good time.
That's 100 points in the Marine Corps
But is the
PFT,
dude
right?
50 pounds overweight?
But he looked he just had a pear-shaped body.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the motherfucker moved. He was a fucking Clydesdale.
The
you know?
only
Like,
time that the military appearance thing should apply is in like when you're in the old guard
Yeah.
or you're in a unit,
the silent drill platoon and
right?
shit. Yeah.
Where
But
you
they have
where
standards
you
for that
have
shit,
to, yes,
too.
Yeah, or like you're in the color guard or some
yeah,
shit.
where
But-
you have to look like the guy.
But
next to you.
if you're a pear-shaped motherfucker, you're just not going to be picked for that
Like,
particular
I
dude.
feel, okay, here's the one
Yeah.
that I want to add. I want to have complete different standards for a garrison soldier and a combat soldier.
yes,
And you
Two
go in as a
different
job,
sets
like
of
your
rules.
job is infantry, cool, you're a combat soldier. And you abide by these rules, and that's it.
Yeah.
And oh, you're a fucking
yeah, you're a
no
42
offense, I'm
alpha.
not talking about you, but like you're a fucking pogue, you sit behind a desk, or you're a fucking dental or whatever the fuck. Like, okay, here's your set of standards because now you're more
So the
likely in the
standards you're
public's
looking for
eyes.
is either forward operating or rear support.
no, I disagree. I agree with you, but I disagree how you're implementing it.
Okay.
I know a lot of
When
dudes
you're in garrison,
who hooked and
there-
jabbed his pogues though.
when you're
And they
in
still did it,
garrison,
you know, like
there should be one set of rules. When you're deployed, there should be another set of rules,
yeah.
not based on
And we
whether
touched-
you're MOS.
I think we all touched on that when we
Yeah.
were over there because obviously like because you would always have the fucking one asshole. It was always a fucking first sergeant or a fucking sergeant major who would walk up and be like, "The fuck's up with your face? When was the last time you fucking shaved?" I remember I walked up to a first sergeant at a firm base in Fallujah, and I was like, there was a bunch of confiscated gear that we'd found in weapons caches and shit, and I'd found this Beretta.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, how you doing, first sergeant? I was like, have you seen any holsters lying around? He's like, I don't know. You seen any razors and shaving cream? And I was like,
No, actually, I haven't.
I was like, no, I haven't. And I was like, I've kind of been on patrol for the last 4 days. And he's like, I'm just fucking with you, dog. He was cool.
Yeah.
All right. He was fucking shout out to First Sergeant Johnson, fucking 1st Battalion, 3rd Marines. All right. He was a good dude. All right. But he was an exception. Because
Yeah.
a lot of them out there would be like, what the fuck, your camis dirty? I remember the chow hall guy.
Yes. Oh, my
was like, you
I've
can't
told-
come in
I've-
here. You can't come into my chow hall. It was an army dude.
I've told that story.
And he was like,
Yeah.
you can't come into my chow hall because your fucking shit's dirty. And we're like, dude, we just got off fucking patrol.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like the chow hall closes in 10 minutes. We don't have time to get fucking
So
like just let me get
straight
my
up,
fucking bag
the
nasty
military
and leave.
appearance rules need to be changed
Yeah.
for in theater.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
We're
if
over
you're-
there. We're working.
If you're CONUS, by all means,
You
call
have no-
somebody out for not shaving
Yeah,
and make sure their uniform squared away. You got
'cause
no
you have no
fucking reason
excuse.
not to look right.
Yeah, I agree.
But in the box,
fuck you.
off.
Yeah.
You know what they're doing now is they're fucking with people whether or not they've got this not mandatory vaccine,
Yeah.
right? Like, how are you fucking with soldiers when it's not mandatory?
Go
They did
do
a-
that
they did a
vaccine
poll.
conversation.
They did a poll in the
I want to
Marine
have that
Corps.
conversation with you when we go off because
Like
oh,
they did a poll of fucking corporal and below in the Marine Corps. And there was 30% of them were like, no fucking way. And like 50% of them were like, I'm unsure. And then like 20% were like, yeah, I'm going to get it. All
okay.
right.
Well, we've gone completely off the rails here. So,
It's like,
Scott, why don't you recap? What are we adding into the regulations?
Shit, I don't remember.
All right, so I think it's beards and people get to pick their own ROE. And what are we taking away?
body fat percentages, fucking standards, and fucking.
And
map in the box.
yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Cool.
Wrap it up, Mikey.
Well, there you have it, folks. We don't know any more than fucking you do. So there you go. All right. Fucking like, share, subscribe, smash all those buttons. Give us a like on YouTube. We're almost at that silver play button. We're about this far away now. All right. It was that far away. Now it's this far
And
away.
if you disagree with our add, subtract regulations thing, and
hit us up.
fucking
Hit us
send
up in the
us a message.
comments.
Let us know.
Let us know what
Fucking-
you think.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear from you.
Especially if you're not Army or Marines. I'd fucking love to hear, like, I think the Air Force needs to fix
yeah, fucking A.
the fact that we had teal boots.
For real, dude. For real. I got a story about that for another time.
Fucking hell.
And so smash all those buttons. Make sure you check out warfightertobacco.com. Use that code FreedomFriends. Score yourself that sweet 15% off. And wellness.us. Score yourself a quarter off your order with FreedomFriends25 is the code over there. Other than that, guys, I'm going to raise my glass and just say thank you for being my freedom friend.
Yo, we need to talk to a wellness about doing beard oil.
Oh.
Huh.
I was reading about CBD, and apparently it's actually really good for like keratin and follicle health and all that kind of stuff.
Huh.
So I think a CBD beard oil could soften up the old beard follicles.
Fucking I, dude.
That'd be
Just
cool.
just put some of that cream in.
Yeah. Just use some of the tincture.
Might try it. I'm not lying.
A little tincture in your beard. Fuck it.
Mine's coarse, but I'd like it to relax a little bit. I got a bit of a wave. I want to go away.
And while you're worrying about your wavy ass beard, tell your mom.
Tell your friends.
Tell your fucking mom's friends.
Ride the wave.
Ride that wave. Yeah.
In the meantime, do 3 simple things that we highly encourage around here. Mikey,
Smoke on.
John,
Drink on.
and goddamn it, boys.
Freedom the fuck on. See you next time.